been whining about the same thing. And what we had been whining about was the fact that when Robert wrote his book on third generation NLP, he only wrote about his stuff. And I thought, what about everybody else's stuff? And so I'd been whining to myself, but when Michael started whining in public, then you have to do something.
So I wrote several articles whining about it, and Shelle wrote and said, well, why don't you do something? And I said, like what? And she said, well, let's get a lot of collaboration among NLP trainers who are innovating and put it in a book. And I said, I'll do it if you'll help me.
And I said, oh shit, yeah. And that's when I came up with that whole problem about overcommitting. Yes, Michael's really hard to keep up with. And so what happened is we went to Robert, we asked Robert to contribute a chapter and a preface. He was totally into it. And you know, one thing I realized, it's really hard for someone else to write about what you're doing. And so of course Robert had to write a book about what he's involved in and what he's doing. It's up to us to write about what we're into. And what we're very excited about is the collaboration we have from quite a number of people who either created new models from the original NLP models or new applications and new tools. And some of the people are here tonight. So this is very cool.
So 24 people collaborated all together in the book. This is the very first time, I think in 37 years in the field of NLP, that top trainers have come together into one book to collaborate and to say, here's what we're doing to promote the field. So,
sorry, Jewish mother alert.
Yes, we're here. First time in the history of the field that a diverse group of people came together to produce a work together. Thank you.
So I'm proud of that, and we put on the volume 1, and you know about implications. And I'm hoping that every 3 years in a field that should be as creative as this field, every 3 years we should have another book about all the new innovations. So that's what I'm hoping, and at the end, the back of this book, there's details. My details are your details. Write to me, I'll give you her details. Because I'd like to see this done every 3 years, more innovations in this field. Because I think when we come together as a community, as a field, and work together and collaborate together, and to say, I don't have to agree with everything, but I honor and respect the people that's part of my colleagues in this field, then we together will make a big difference in this field.
The last thing I'd like to say, it was James Lawley's idea for the proceeds to go to the NLP Research and Recognition Project. This is a very important project. How many times have we talked about the fact that NLP is so effective and yet not recognized enough? And I think it's great that the proceeds are going there. So when you buy this book, that's where all of our contribution is going to. And I hope that you'll actually check out nlprandr.org and also make a contribution because it's an important project. So you can check it out on nlprnr.org. So that's all I have to say.
So I'd like to say a word about all the contributors here around the table. We put them under some pressure. Originally we sent out an article and we said 2 months. We want your article, your chapter, and so then we, I think, expanded it to 3 months and then 4 months. But June 1st came and we said June 1st is the deadline because we want to launch this at the NLP conference in London in November. And so without these people, there'd be no book. So my appreciation, my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for the contribution you've made to this book and for all of us together doing something that had not been done before. So thank you.
So we have a bunch of the authors here who are willing to sign books, right? Okay, so there we are. Back to you, David. Where's David?